Episode 14, Rebuilding Steve. We are back after an amazing session last time of starting to do some recovery breathing on top of our squatting. The good news is today's going to look so much similar to last time. We're just going to add a little finesse in towards the end to make it just even more joyous.
We're playing Frisbee, it looks like.
Oh, a little bit. You'll see. Your feet will see. All right. So first things first, let's warm up with a happy 15. I want deep breaths in on the down. Control it all the way down. Come on back up. Here we go. 1. Oh, yeah. Easy warm-ups. Easy warm-ups. Everybody, so today what we've already started with, we had Steve warm up on the seated elliptical for about 12 minutes. He then went straight into the recovery breathing that we taught him last time, and he was able to get breath hold up significantly higher. Here, since last time, actually gives the update from at home, but they dominated the homework. It went really, really well. Got the breath hold increased a bunch, and it got even better here. Come on, down. Take a break. All right, now, you have a seat. You recover. Ashley, give us an update about how, let's start with straight to the breathing, okay? So you went home, gave you a homework assignment to get to a certain amount of breaths. Figured it would take all week, but you tell me about it.
Yeah, so on day 2, Steve got to hold his breath for 31 seconds, which their goal was 30, so he felt very accomplished with that.
Awesome.
He did use the breathing exercises throughout the week, golfing, hitting golf balls in the backyard and cardio and things like that.
That's after an exhale too, which is way harder.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So he's really recovering nicely from it, and I wish we would have known this technique already.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that was really easy, and you're almost already recovered. So I think we're just going to go right into the next set. That's what I think. What do you think?
I didn't realize I was almost recovered, but okay.
You look great.
You look great, man. Skin color's beautiful. Having a good conversation. Let's do it. Come on up. Let's have fun. This is light. What did we get? Oh, we grabbed a 20. Light. Let's get 10. 10 happy ones. 1. Attaboy. But this technique is just straight out the gate awesome today. What is this? We warm up really good. You recovered great after last week. I heard you got a little sore last week.
It took him till Thursday to be able to walk without pain.
The gains train feels good. I like it. Get a couple more. 1 more. Nice. I'll steal this. Head on down. Do some good recovery breathing. All right, Ashley, update us about the other medical visits to last week. It sounded like we had a couple.
Yeah, super eventful week. So a little bit of a scare at pulmonary rehab because he wasn't oxygenating very well on the treadmill and stuff. So they did a blood gas. Everything was okay. But that prompted a visit to the ENT.
Yep.
To make sure he didn't have vocal cord dysfunction. And while at rest, he does not. I don't know if when he's laying down or exercising, something else happens there. So that's TBD. But we also went to the eye doctor, the eye specialist, and his eyes are at least 50% better than when he saw him last. And get this, his vision is now 20/20.
Nice, man. Nice. With correction, for sure.
But so we've seen a lot of improvement there. Told us to stay the course. We're going to introduce an antibiotic drop because he's got some inflammation on his eyelids that the steroids aren't taking away. But it's on back order till June. So
got it.
What else did we do? We went to wound care. When I opened his bandage on Wednesday morning, it was like Christmas Day because his wound was almost completely closed up.
Getting there.
So we're nearing the end of our visits with our ass man.
Yeah. So the good news is that's going to keep progressing. They'll anticipate in the next few visits that'll start to resolve. I think that's going to keep going better and better. There'll be ups and downs with it. As far as your strength piece here, your recovery, how do you feel like you are right now? We want to test because I want you back to 96. Let's just see. Let's see where you're at. Oh, 90. You're 1 off. So close. Yeah, doing great. Pulse is up, about 115. Really breathe deep. Good. Nice. And I feel pretty good about us going right again. 96, 98. You pick. You tell me when you feel recovered. I'm not in a hurry. I got nowhere to be. I want you recovered because this set matters though. So this is the big one, right? So here's what's different than last week. Last week, if we go through our philosophy, the couple of things that we were doing. Number one is we were going to push him with his spontaneous breathing. So as his body just naturally tells him to breathe and the breathing strategies that he's been using, we had him do that and see how many reps he could get. We then went with the second set. And so the key thing to understand is now, we've been doing this for roughly about 4 months. And the key things are he's been able to keep progressing his leg press, his pressing, his pulling, all of these things to help bring health back to the tissues. Well, that enables us, with all of the progress he's made, to be able to push him even harder with more complex movements, such as like a kettlebell deadlift here. But the key is that he's able to go further into that period of fatigue if he oxygenates better. And so our whole goal last time was to do 2 sets of that. Well, now we know exactly what we got out of 2 sets. He got the gains that I wanted, got stronger, was able to still go home, still able to do the breath holding. All of those things improved. We did the breath holding together at the very beginning of the session today, and he was able to do a breath hold of 45 seconds. And again, that is on expired lungs. But the key reason that we appreciate that, like he's already up to 97 now, is for a couple of things. There's a couple of cool responses that happen in the body. And one of the things that we can do from a test-retest perspective is we can get a couple of answers about what's going to be more important for him for the training piece at the time. So for example, we get this thing called the diving response that happens when we do breath holds. And so what happens is we get just a change in our vasculature and our extremities. We get a little constriction there. But also the spleen's going to release more blood cells. So we're to optimize as much oxygen throughout the tissues as possible. So by getting that response going, we can tap into the best part of his nervous system and get the most out of it that we can. So that's why we really like that over-oxygenation, trying to change the pH in the body. That may or may not play a big role here, but the breath hold we know has a really good physiological response that occurs. And he did great with that. And I think today, now that we know what 2 sets look like last time, we know his second set, even though we gave him a full amount of time to recover, his nervous system, it was still hard for him to get the exact same number of reps. So that tells us that we're going to still get really great results by getting 1 really effective set. He's already built up with warm-ups, but now we need one that's still really challenging for him. We'll make sure we get all the gains that we need out of this week from our squatting. Does that make sense?
Science is so cool.
That's awesome. Are you ready? Your oxygen's been bouncing at 97, 98 for like an hour and a half. So I'm ready. You ready, baby?
Sure.
Let's go. All right, I'll take that. Here we go. Oh, we upped it by 2 pounds today just for good measure. So same thing. Let's get, remember, big breath in on the down. Same great form. Let's get as many as you feel like you can get. 1, 2, attaboy. Breathe in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. 8, 9. Oh, these are easy. That's a light 10. 11, 12. Attaboy. You got another? 13. Nice. You got another? Nice. 14. One more. 15. Done, baby. 16. Amazing. Now recover.
What, 11?
11. 11. And now that was light. Here we go. Do your good breathing. Recover. The cool part about this is when we structure our progression about how he's going about things, his reps keep getting better. His breathing, he's now better at turning on that diaphragm in all directions, to be able to oxygenate the tissues. He'll feel exhausted because he had a really good hard pushing set. But the reality is where he's going is nothing but strength, better coordination, and all of those things. Now, the thing is about the recovery is that what we did there is we peaked a little bit better by giving you a little bit more time to recover. But the body between that 3 and 5 minute mark is where we're going to get the most recovery. So everybody always thinks that it's just the lactic acid buildup and these things limiting us. That clears pretty fast in that 3 to 5 minutes. The key thing is the built up fatigue is part of it with the muscular response. But he did awesome on that. That was money. Attaboy. Great set. Yep. Breathe deep, recover. And then we'll get to the next thing. This is good.
Belly, belly, chest, neck.
That's it, baby. Get it, get it. I'm going to put these up so we make room for the fun. You can keep that bad boy on if you want. But I just want to see what 3 back and forth, how long it takes you to recover from that. Does that make sense? Okay, so Steve, here's what we're going to do. We got the kettlebells out of the way. The key thing that I want you to practice now after a good round of squatting is now still being good and coordinated with your lower body. So I want you to practice 2 in, 2 out on each side, going back and forth. I want you to make 3 laps. So over, back, over, back, over, back. Then we'll have a seat, recover, and see how quick recovery goes. One of the things you'll notice is we haven't done a whole lot of cardio things where we're going quickly, right? We got to remember the body has different energy systems. And I know we're working at pulmonary rehab a lot on that low and slow, trying to stay in that zone 2, like exercise, oxygenate well over a long period of time. But we also need to be able to recover quickly and start to move more fastly, right? Like remember when we had to cross the road the other day? Life comes at us fast. We got to cross the road, and Rife said, wow, the dexterity wasn't quite what we hoped it would be. Part of that's because the tendon stiffness has to keep coming back. We got to keep strengthening that just like you're doing. But at the same time, we also have to practice utilizing it more quickly, okay? All right, so here's what I want you to do. You're going to go side to side, over and back, 3 rounds in a row. You ready? Here we go. Come on over. 1, nice. 2, don't forget to breathe while you do these. Good, and now have a seat. You're going for 4. All right, I just want to see how quick recovery is. This will give us a test, a good assessment of how many we can likely push you. So I want you to breathe deep. Now, y'all may have not been able to hear that on camera, but yeah, his first time breathing was on the 3rd set. So there was no breath in. He was doing the natural thing the body wants to do, which is, ooh, I'm doing something quick. I don't need oxygen to perform this task. I'm going to stay what we call anaerobic. I'm going to stay in that anaerobic space. That's how the body naturally wants to perform that activity. However, we could set the system up a little happier by making sure we breathe through the whole process. So
that's what happens with some of your daily tasks that you do, that you know, like putting on your pants and pushing up out of bed and going to the bathroom and things like that. You forget to, I don't think you breathe through that.
Yep.
To make a concerted effort.
It is hard because the question that we always ask from the healthcare perspective is the individual holding their breath because literally it's the only way they can create enough stiffness to have a platform to pull off of? Or had they just gotten used to the habit now of doing that, but they've progressed past that, Steve, and now they need to actually breathe while they do the thing. And that transition, though, does take volitional effort. You actually have to say, oh my gosh, I've created these strategies because I had to have them for survival and to have any quality life at all, had to have those. That's a perfectly acceptable strategy. But now we're way closer to baseline health than you are hospital bed. So because of that, we have to do more healthy, strong base recovery strategies and movement strategies going forward because your tissues are changing over like crazy, getting stronger and stronger, more and more coordinated. And I mean, just think about it. You just did max out reps of squats, got a PR by 3 repetitions, recovered quickly, and then now are going into quick feet movements. Like that's a lot in a short amount of time and still recovered. You've been silent breathing here for probably about a minute of that verbose explanation. But at the same time, you're ready to go for 6 of these now. You got 6 quick laps. We're just going to practice breathing in on the over, maybe out on the back or something like that. Does that make sense? Unless you get breathing really fast, I mean, your footwork gets even faster, then just breathe in for the whole first lap, breathe out for the second lap, in for the third. Does that make sense? Whatever you're vibing with. Trust your instincts. All right, my man, let's get it. Let's be quick. Assassinate the floor. 1. Attaboy. There we go. There we go. 2. There we go. 3. There we go. 4. Yes. 5. Nice. 7. Break. Take him to the combine. NFL is not ready. Next, we'll do high knees and give you a football. It was amazing. Man couldn't take 6, had to take 7. Oh, that was awesome. And now just recover. Get that oxygen in. That was awesome. That was fast. How achy were calves? How achy were ankles, Achilles, calf, knee, hips, all the things?
Not too bad. My right ankle kind of gave on me a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But my right ankle since the hospital, like I still have like numbness on the right side of my foot.
Yeah. And one of the keys with trying to get that back is you got to remember, you got to train all the positions. And so one of the things, I try not to get too medical in some of the explanations, but sometimes I'm not smart enough to break it down enough. But basically the way this works is two things. When we think about our movements and the way our body works, slow movements can be controlled by how we feel and our muscles doing their job one at a time. When we get to really fast movements, the body goes into this really cool phase. We call it medically, we call it co-contraction. It means you're stabilizing by your muscles working equally hard together, allowing you to control the movement. So basically like a shock absorbing system, instead of you having to feel every little bump in the road or every little difference, it's going to create enough stiffness and you're going to use that vibration moving through to be your balance and coordination. When you do this, it requires that. So when you were doing that, you're like, hey, I felt like my ankle was wanting to give. That's because your body's so good at, hey, if I go slow, I know I need to turn this muscle on, do this kind of thing in this normal pattern. When you go fast, that's a different muscle stimulation effect. So you have to have both muscles working really hard together to go quickly. And it's going to fatigue out and say, oh, okay, I'll go to my other strategy. And that's when we feel those different things.
I did feel like when it started to give, I had a tendency to sort of lean more weight onto my left.
Natural. Yeah. No, but you dominated that. That was 7. Recovery's already going great. You're back up to 93.
How low did it get?
I didn't see it get that low. Did you see?
It's about 86, I think.
Yeah, nice. That's not bad. For 7 laps quickly, yeah, so we're definitely doing 10. So recovery, we're at 97. Oxygen-wise, we're at 97. We are ready to go for our next round. We're going to do 10 laps this time. This is going to be the final part of today. The key things that I'm going to want out of the week, though, that are really, really important is that now you're going to do that breathing every single night. We talked about it earlier that he was able to get the breath hold on expired lungs, 45 seconds of hold. Now we want to get to the point where he's up to the max that he can possibly get. I want him to get to that minute and a half if he can. Keep trying every single day. I mean, he got 45 seconds literally in his 3rd attempt. That's exponential improvement. Let's keep taking advantage of that. And like I said, part of it's that transition from we've been breathing one type of way, and then now we need to get closer to that baseline health piece and make sure that all the little cells in the lungs are doing their best part to make sure that this happens at a rapid rate as quickly as possible. So we're going to hit 10 laps. At home, you'll do the breathing every day. This, instead of our bouncing and jumping like we were doing, we're going to really replace it with the quick feet for now, because we're going to go back to a little single leg hopping coming up. If you want to use the 2-legged hopping as those pogo hops as a quick warm up to get the tissues going and those things, more than welcome to do that. I think that would be great. Maybe take a lap on the stairs to get warmed up, hit a couple of the jumps, and then boom, now we're doing quick feet work. And at home, anything that's circular, simple to put on the ground, just so you can step in, step out. But I want you having those quick burst trainings, and it looks like 10 is going to be the number, maybe even higher of doing those. But we need to start stimulating at least several rounds of that each week. All right, so let's do it. Come on up. Let's get 10, baby. Let's get 10. You ready? Here we go. Quick, breathe the whole time. In. 1, let's go. Breathe in. 2, let's go. 3, nice. 4. And the other thing, just appreciate, if we just go back to even some of the other movements we've had, his balance is incredible. You may have noticed, I didn't give him dowels of support today. I didn't give him any of that. Just make him work for it. Make him earn it. Make him earn it. Boom. 11. Done. Atta boy. Now recover. Easy breezy. This won't even dip that low. Guaranteed. Piece of cake, bro. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Nice.